Students, please rise for the faculty processional.
Good evening and welcome. Please rise and remain standing for the national anthem, which will be sung by members of Nothing But Treble.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Please be seated. Well, good evening. At this point, it's my pleasure to introduce Mr. Nasir Makuram, doctoral candidate in material science and engineering, who will give us our reflection.
I remember 7 years ago, I was studying in my college dorm in Tehran. And while 3 of my roommates were asleep, the 4th one quietly asked me to join him in watching this amazing event that he was streaming on his computer. I put my ear close to his headphone and started watching too. It was a glorious ceremony. Outstanding speakers, superb setting. My roommate and I were so inspired. Every few minutes, we were staring at each other, asking in our heads, is there a 1 in a million chance that we could be in that event one day? By now, I guess you're dying to know what we were watching. It was the Georgia Tech commencement ceremony. In our wildest dream, we would have never imagined that one day, one of us would not only attend and graduate with the honor of getting a Ph.D. degree from this institute, but would also stand here and partake in the very ceremony that inspired us 7 years ago. President Obama said it well a couple of months ago in this very arena. Georgia Tech is one of the finest technical institutes in the world. In fact, Georgia Tech's fame around the world is much more than many of my American friends think. I'm not exaggerating when I tell you that there are college students in the farthest point around the globe, from Iran to China, from Chile to Turkey, who are watching this ceremony right now. Smart people who envy you all and who wish to have the privilege you have here today. These are not just words coming out of my mouth to inspire you. I live that life. I'm living that dream right now. Yet, sometimes I see my friends here depressed, complaining often about the smallest things. And I always wonder, have they forgotten that they're living out this amazing dream? Recently, though, I think I found an answer for it. I came to the realization that we never actually reach our goals. I say we don't reach our goals not because we are incapable of achieving them, simply because the nature of our goals is constantly evolving. We get closer and closer to them, and they will be replaced by more ambitious ones. While this is fantastic news, pushing us to climb higher and higher, it has one major drawback. We tend to forget that we are constantly living within the realm of our previous dreams. And we are often too eager to move toward the next goal, to stop, take pause, and be grateful for our realized dreams. So, as you all are walking on this stage, I'm sure you're thinking about your next ambitious goal. While you're thinking about next dream and graduating from this exceptional school, stop for a second, reflect. Breathe in this cheerful and accomplished moment deeply. And my friends, remember, you're living a dream realized, and forever you will be a proud Georgia Tech alum. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Nasir, and good luck as you move on with the rest of your life.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Graduates, members of the faculty and staff, distinguished guests, families, and friends, it's my great pleasure to welcome you to the 249th commencement ceremonies here at Georgia Tech. This weekend, we are awarding 2,700 degrees, including the 700 graduate students that we'll be recognizing tonight. This is a momentous occasion for you, and we're very pleased that all of you could make it. As we celebrate the successful conclusion of one chapter of your lifelong education, it's important to acknowledge that you've not done it alone. With us today are many families, friends, and colleagues whose love and support have helped to make this day possible. In addition, with us tonight are members of the faculty who've guided and mentored these students, sharing with them their time, their wisdom, and their expertise in order to help each and every one of them reach their own individual goal and their fullest potential. Would the members of the faculty please rise and be recognized? While I could try to tell you how much the graduates appreciate all of your efforts and support, I think it means more coming from them.
Thank you, Mom and Dad, and all my family for all the support.
I would like to thank all my siblings, my parents, especially my mom and dad, wherever you are up there. Rest assured that I'll make you proud.
Muchas gracias, papá, mamá, mi abuelito, mis tíos por estar aquí. Este es un evento importante para la familia y los quiero mucho. Gracias.
Thank you so much, Alex. You're more than an advisor. You've been a mentor, elder brother, whatever you want to call it. But my whole graduate career is thanks to you. Thank you so much.
I'm so grateful. I wouldn't even be here. I wouldn't have been able to do this without you. But I want to give a shout out to Natalie because she's the youngest and this is her first plane trip. And I am so excited that she's here to see me walk across the stage. Thank you.
Baba and Ma, this is for you.
I'd like to thank my parents who have always been there for me, and also my elder brother and my younger sister.
In France, we don't say like goodbye, we say à bientôt, so à bientôt everyone. Ciao.
At this time, I'd like to introduce several members of the stage party and will ask that you hold your applause as they stand when I call their names. Dr. Zvi Galil, Dean of the College of Computing. That's not a very good start. Dr. Jacqueline Jones Royster, Dean of the Ivan Allen College of Liberal Arts. Dr. Stephen French, Dean of the College of Architecture. Dr. Miriam Alave, Dean of the Scheller College of Business. Dr. Paul Goldbart, Dean of the College of Sciences. Dr. Gary May, Dean of the College of Engineering. Dr. Susan Cousins, Vice Provost, Graduate Education and Faculty Development. Dr. Colin Potts, Vice Provost for Undergraduate Education. Dr. Stephen Cross, Executive Vice President for Research. Dr. Archie Irvin, Vice President for Institute Diversity. Mr. Barrett Carson, Vice President for Development. Mr. John Stein, Interim Vice President for Student Affairs and Dean of Students. Mr. Bing Wang, representing the library. Ms. Michelle Toulier, representing the Center for Career Discovery and Development. And finally, with us on stage this evening is Dr. George Nemhauser, our mace bearer and distinguished professor. Thank you for being with us. This is a momentous day for you as graduates and for your family and friends who are sharing this celebration of your accomplishments. You've worked very hard to earn your degree from one of the best institutions in the nation, and in many areas, one of the best in the world. You're well positioned for success, and you can be proud of your alma mater. As I look out on all of you today, I see a group that's well prepared for a life of accomplishment and contribution in an ever-changing world. Not because you've learned everything that you will need to know, but because of your Georgia Tech education has been designed to provide you with a solid foundation on which you can build throughout your lifetime as you learn and grow. It's designed to prepare you to work collaboratively to identify challenges and create solutions, and to be a leader in business, industry, government, and the communities in which you will work and live. You are prepared to not only face the future, but to help design it. You have a wonderful future ahead of you, and all of us here today to watch you commence are expecting great things from you in the years to come. At this time, I'd like to ask Dr. Raphael Bras, Provost and Executive Vice President for Academic Affairs, and our commencement speaker, Georgia Tech President Emeritus G. Wayne Clough, to join me at the podium. Set this here. After serving as Georgia Tech's president from 1994 to 2008, Dr. Clough became the 12th Secretary of the Smithsonian Institution, a position he held until October of 2014. We're happy to report that he's back home here at Georgia Tech. As President Emeritus, he has an office on campus and is already actively interacting with our students, our faculty, and the Georgia Tech community. Dr. Clough was the first Georgia Tech alum to serve as president of the Institute, and his time as Georgia Tech's president was momentous. The Clough Undergraduate Learning Commons, named in recognition of his leadership, opened in August of 2011. And from the very first day it opened, it's become a center of campus life and collaborative learning, and serves as a reminder of the esteem in which he's held by this institute. Dr. Clough earned his bachelor's degree and master's degree in civil engineering from Georgia Tech in 1964 and 65, respectively. He received his doctorate in civil engineering from the University of California at Berkeley and was a member of the faculty at Duke University, Stanford, and Virginia Tech, as well as serving as dean of Virginia Tech's College of Engineering. In 1993 and 94, Dr. Clough was provost and vice president of academic affairs at the University of Washington before becoming Georgia Tech's 10th president. One of the most significant honors a university can bestow is that of the honorary doctorate. At Georgia Tech, we hold these degrees very dear. Only 30 honorary degrees have been awarded in the Institute's almost 130-year history. Honorary degree holders include President Jimmy Carter, Atlanta Mayor Ivan Allen Jr., astronaut John Young, oil executive Pete Silas, and Senator Sam Nunn. Today, the Georgia Institute of Technology will confer its 31st Honorary Doctor of Philosophy to President Emeritus G. Wayne Clough. We have a citation for President Clough, and it says, to all whom these presents may come, greetings. Whereas G. Wayne Clough has profoundly affected the world around him as Secretary of the Smithsonian Institution, an American treasure and the largest museum and research complex in the world, has been recognized nationally and internationally for his contributions to the field of civil and environmental engineering over the decades, and has provided inspirational and transformative leadership as the first alumni to serve as president of the Georgia Institute of Technology, where he led the Institute to national prominence during his 14-year tenure. Now, therefore, we do hereby confer the degree of Honorary Doctor of Philosophy with all the rights, privileges, and honors thereunto appertaining. In witness whereof, the signatures of the Chancellor of the University System of Georgia and the President and the Registrar of the Georgia Institute of Technology are hereto subscribed, and the seal of the Institute is affixed. Given this day in Atlanta, the 1st of May, 2015. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you very much, President Peterson and Provost Bras. And thank you for your kind remarks, President Peterson, and particularly for your strong leadership of my alma mater in the years since I left the institution in 2008. It is nice to be back home. So faculty, graduates, families, friends, and distinguished guests, let me add my greetings to all of you on this very special day. It is humbling to receive an honorary doctorate from Georgia Tech, knowing the distinct honor that this represents. If you think about it, it took me 5 years to get my bachelor's and master's from Georgia Tech. But it took me about 50 years more to be awarded this degree. So I'm truly grateful. One, that you deem me worthy of such a recognition, and two, that I've survived long enough to be here to get it in person. For that, I have to thank my parents and good genes and luck for bringing me to this day. Let me add my congratulations to those of you today receiving your graduate degrees from Georgia Tech, an institution that's risen to the heights of national and global prominence only within the past few decades. My congratulations to the Board of Regents, President Peterson, the administration, the great faculty, and staff who've made it so. I am proud to have contributed during my time as president here. It's very rewarding, actually, to work for something you believe in, something you can all remember. Now, in addition to my BS and MS from Georgia Tech, I later added, as was noted, a Ph.D. from UC Berkeley back in another time and another day in the 1960s. Now, I mentioned Berkeley since so much change was going on out there, as well as across the country, in what some people call the age of Aquarius. It was particularly an interesting time for a young man who had never been west of the Mississippi River. Various movements came and went, and the media and opportunistic politicians made the most of it. As to me, let me just say that my educational experience went beyond what I expected it to. One lesson learned, I want to leave this with you. Be sure you know which way the wind is blowing when the tear gas canisters are fired. In spite of all the seeming distractions, my time at Berkeley was a very special period in my life where I could undertake research with the simple pleasure of discovery being the only goal. I learned from an outstanding faculty who were working on the cutting edge of computer simulation and earthquake engineering. Now, back then, the world was smaller, but computers were bigger, and you had to feed them. Well, I know you all appreciate the power of the digital devices you have in your pocket, on your wrist, or in your glasses. Back then, I got my exercise every day by pedaling my bicycle over to the computer center in the middle of campus to drop off my program, which came in the form of a 2,000 card box of cards, punch cards. It was my fervent hope that someday, in the next day or two, my program would actually run. Now, some of you may not even know what a punch card is. I can tell you from experience, because I've been there, you can see one if you visit the Smithsonian's American History Museum. Think about it. Today, you really never get to physically see your program. But I did, and I gave it all the love that I could. Just think about what you missed. On the plus side of life in the slow lane back then, with no email, no Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or text to monopolize my time, I had time to make great friends, many of whom I've stayed in touch my entire life. After I undertook my own career as a faculty member, I had the privilege to conduct research with my own graduate students, and I advised 34 students to the completion of their Ph.D. degree. These young men and women became like an extended family to my wife, Ann, and me. And we've remained in touch all these years. 2 years ago, we had a reunion at Glacier National Park where we spent more time talking about their children and grandchildren than about their careers. This summer, we're all getting together again on the Sonoma coast of California to drink a little wine and enjoy the coast. I take great pride in their accomplishments, many of whom are faculty members at distinguished universities today. I might have inspired them back then, but they definitely inspire me today. It's a lineage that keeps on giving. For example, one of my graduate students was Jean-Louis Chameau, who served here as chair of the School of Civil and Environmental Engineering, the dean of the College of Engineering, and then provost, who went on to become president of Caltech, and who is now serving as president of the King Abdullah University of Science and Technology in Saudi Arabia. He advised many PhD students himself, and one of them is David Frost, a faculty member here in civil engineering. So you can think of David as my academic grandson. And not long ago, a young man introduced himself to me in New York City at a function as David's PhD student and told me he was my academic great-grandson. And that brought a smile to my face. Now, each of you graduates today has started down a road where the friendships you've made here will last a lifetime, and you'll look back on your time in this special environment as one of the best of your lives. So savor that time, remember that time. Your generation lives in a world my generation could barely imagine. According to IBM, we now create 2.5 quintillion bytes of data every 2 days. And in the last 5 years or so, we've learned there are over 2,000 planets in our galaxy that may harbor life. Not long ago, we had no proof there was water on other heavenly bodies. But the news is arriving almost every day of places where water, life-sustaining water, is being found. Some years back, we were astonished when the human genome was sequenced, but today we sequence hundreds of other life forms and thousands more are underway. Today, we're on the way to cure many forms of cancer, and microsurgery procedures produce miraculous results with short to almost zero stays in hospitals. I know about this personally because only a few years ago, I had treatment for a rapid heartbeat that had plagued me for decades. And that was done in 2 hours, that procedure. After which I walked out of the hospital and went back to work the next day. No field is immune to this rapid pace of change. For example, every day we're enlightened by new insights about our culture and our history because of increased access to knowledge through digital technology and what is now known as the Internet of Things. All of this reflects a golden age for research and knowledge creation. Yet for all that's being accomplished, your generation faces new challenges that are globally connected and complex. Climate change is affecting all of our natural systems, something that I saw firsthand as I traveled around the world as the Secretary of the Smithsonian. Some would say we're at the risk of experiencing the 6th great extinction on Earth, this one caused by human beings, not natural causes or cataclysmic events. This even has been given a name, the age of the Anthropocene, or one where humans are making indelible marks on the face of the earth that will be seen 100 million years from now. Today, there are serious threats to the world's coral reefs. Our oceans are acidifying and sea levels are rising, causing us to rethink our ability to protect our coastal cities. We know that 75% of the diseases we're subject to, especially pandemics, come from zoonotic sources, and they can travel quickly from insects and animals into our cities. And in spite of all the exabytes of information we're swimming in, we find ourselves often falling short when it comes to understanding our world and its diversity. Finally, standardized tests show time and again that far too many people are uninformed about history and science, and our society is seeing an opportunity gap growing between the haves and the have-nots of our nation. Your generation is on the verge of the greatest discovery in the history of the human species. But your generation also faces challenges that are global and unprecedented, involving the fate of our species and our planet. Today's challenges will require work and wisdom if they are to be addressed successfully, and the clock is ticking. Of all the hominid species that have existed on Earth, only one now survives, Homo sapiens. Homo sapiens is Latin for man and wise. Are we truly wise enough to make the changes we need to keep our small blue planet viable for future generations of our kind and all the other creatures that depend on us for survival? Are we willing to make the hard choices and decisions needed to create a future we all hope can exist? Personally, I'm an optimist, and I believe that those of you leaving this campus today are ready to take on these issues your world faces, no matter how large they are. The author F. Scott Fitzgerald once said, "The test of a first-rate intelligence is the ability to hold two opposed ideas in mind and retain the ability to function. One should," he said, for example, "be able to see that things are hopeless, but be determined to make them otherwise." He continued, "This philosophy fitted onto my early adult life when I saw the improbable, the implausible, and the often impossible come true." I hope you are leaving here equipped with that budding wisdom because you indeed have a first-rate intelligence. I know you will use your first-rate intelligence and your wisdom to take on what might seem hopeless, implausible, or impossible, and make them otherwise. Make your children and your grandchildren proud, as we are proud of you here today. Again, my congratulations to all of you on your degrees, and my best wishes for your future. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Clough. I'd also like to recognize Miss Ann Clough, who's with us here today. She served as Georgia Tech's First Lady for 14 years, and she's sitting right over here. Ann, stand up, be recognized. We now come to the time that you've been waiting for, the conferring of your degrees. The moment of walking across the stage represents the culmination of much work and achievement for each of our graduates. I would ask that after you receive your diploma, you return to your seat and show your fellow students the same respect they have given you as you cross the stage. A note to our guests. Last year, we instituted a new Georgia Tech tradition of holding a separate Ph.D. hooding ceremony before the commencement ceremonies. Many of you joined us for this special event earlier this morning, and now we look forward to presenting the diplomas and shaking the hands of each of Georgia Tech's newest Ph.D. recipients. I'm pleased to welcome back Dr. Raphael Bras to the podium, who will now present the candidates for the doctoral degree.
Will the candidates for the doctoral degrees please rise? Mr. President, I have the honor of presenting to you for the doctoral degrees those candidates who have completed all the requirements for those degrees.
Upon the recommendation of the Georgia Institute of Technology faculty and by the authority of the Board of Regents of the University System of Georgia, I confer upon each of you the degree of Doctor of Philosophy with the rights, privileges, and responsibilities thereunto appertaining. Congratulations on earning Georgia Tech's highest academic degree.
Dr. Crystal Chow. Dr. Tobias Kunz. Dr. Martin Levin. Dr. Richard Joseph William Roberts. Dr. Alexander J.B. Trevor. Dr. Vinay Kumar Mittal. Dr. Alexander W. Kalk. Dr. Po Wei Chen. Dr. Ang Huan Win. Dr. Ching Fen Pan. Dr. Maria Restrepo Pilares. Dr. David Christopher Soto. Dr. Jessie Lynn Pearl Dunn. Dr. Eli Jacob Fine. Dr. Indiri Somasundaraman. Dr. Akhil Srinivasan. Dr. Chi-An Wong. Dr. Douglas Edward White. Dr. Cristobal Guzman. Dr. Hua Jung Hong. Dr. David Andrew Joyner. Dr. Arya John Irani. Dr. David J. Lillifan. Dr. Shavik Roy Chowdhury. Dr. Kirsten Annalise Bandopotei. Dr. John Atta Fard. Dr. Arya John Sedehi. Dr. Raymond Rodney White, Sr. Dr. Seong Hyun Lee. Dr. Marcus A. Bellamy. Dr. Carrie Roberts Gibson. Dr. Gomza Kosioglu. Dr. Christopher Francis Havorka. Dr. Rachel Louise Kelly. Dr. Iram Fawad Niazi. Dr. Bradley Michael Hagee. Dr. Ozgi Caracas. Dr. Jessica Woods Mormon. Dr. Rebecca Marie Westby. Dr. Ryan Frederick Bloomquist. Dr. Kyung Duk Ko. Dr. Chin Yi Pan. Dr. Gi Chao Pu. Dr. Alan Kyle Hoffmeyer. Dr. Jing Hu. Dr. Young Yu Lim. Dr. Vlad Liviu Pop. Dr. Samuel Joseph Posnack. Dr. Peter Walensky Seeley. Dr. Amy Wax. Dr. Jacob Douglas Doughty. Dr. Daniel Tibor Kovari. Dr. Keenan Jewell. Dr. Rachel Streifler. Dr. Kimberly Corrine Clark. Dr. Rebecca Kristen Donegan. Dr. Rebecca Lynn Gieseking. Dr. Burak Gulen. Dr. Jennifer Lee Johnson. Dr. Christina Michelle Jones. Dr. Chinying Sun. Dr. Tyrone Wells Jr. Dr. Liu Jia Hu. Dr. Cheng Liang Jiang. Dr. Chao Wei Fong. Dr. Jae-Han Jung. Dr. Bo Lee. Dr. Caitlin Elizabeth Marie. Dr. Mei-Ling Janelle Nicole Tapp. Dr. Xian Chin. Dr. Shalini Saxena. Dr. Pratik Verma. Dr. Yusheng Alvin Zhou. Dr. Nasir Makaram Dori. Dr. Li Hao. Dr. Pratik Mittal. Dr. Rodrigue Gayap Zompe. Dr. Monica Cecilia Villarreal. Dr. Shiva Aram. Dr. Alhaji Alpha Amadou Ba. Dr. Catherine Nicole Gatton. Dr. Roman Julian Jodbruda. Dr. Bo Sung Kim. Dr. Rima Kamales Kundu. Dr. Andrea Laflito. Dr. Ode Claire Marzoli. Dr. Nicholas Anthony Molino. Dr. Zachary Reed Putnam. Dr. Elliot W. Kwan. Dr. Taimur Sadichov. Dr. Elizabeth Saltmarsh. Dr. Jonathan Stephen Sands. Dr. Joseph Scott Wilson. Dr. Lindsay Grace Arnold. Dr. Stephen Kenneth Burgess. Dr. Oluwamatimi Lehin Oluwatoyo Fadran. Dr. Boyi Fu. Dr. Byron Lee George. Dr. Pakapol Kanchanalai. Dr. Yu-Ji Kong. Dr. Lu Liu. Dr. Seon-hee Park. Dr. Won Min Park. Dr. Erdal Uzunlar. Dr. Chen Chen. Dr. Jin Gi Hong. Dr. Richard Sarpong Bodhi. Dr. Susan Lisa Hotel. Dr. Laura May Redmond. Dr. Marco Terzariol. Dr. Ravi Kumar Balakrishnan. Dr. Partha Sarathi Chakraborty. Dr. Chiao Chen. Dr. Chi Wen Cheng. Dr. Yu Chi Cheng. Dr. Smriti Chopra. Dr. Mitchum Hudson Costley. Dr. Jean-Pierre Delacroix. Dr. Amir Dindar. Dr. Suma George. Dr. John David Glass. Dr. Jorge Eleazar Hernandez Cedeno. Dr. Tanguy Fitzgerald Hubert. Dr. Keith Anthony Kunower. Dr. Dinny Lee. Dr. Zubin Noshir Mevawala. Dr. G. Pan. Dr. Shripad Amar Panth. Dr. Indrani Hall. Dr. Matthew John Reno. Dr. Robert Lawrence Schmid. Dr. Satyan Telekapalli. Dr. Parag Kumar Ajibai Fadasar. Dr. Shan Wong. Dr. Jishuan Xia. Dr. Song Kap Yao. Dr. Xiao Yu. Dr. Chao Qi Zhang. Dr. Yue Zhang. Dr. Jessica Nicole Paul. Dr. Caleb Isaac Price. Dr. Guillermo Javier Amador. Dr. James Aaron Black. Dr. Lauren Danielle Couch Casa. Dr. Leong Chen. Dr. Michael Edward DeSalvo. Dr. Abraham Narol Gisson. Dr. Michael Dean Gray. Dr. Man Prakash Gupta. Dr. David Barrett Hardin. Dr. Sebastian Herzig. Dr. Sangbam Kang. Dr. Jason Allen Culp. Dr. Shame William Lonnie. Dr. Nazmul Huda Al Mamun. Dr. Satyanarayana Raghavan. Dr. Farzad Sadeghi Tohidi. Dr. Saeed Ali Tabe. Dr. Dejong Wu. Dr. Toby Gi Shu. Dr. Thomas Myongyul Yoon. Dr. Mohammed Zahid Hossein. Dr. Hang Su. Dr. Shin Chen.
Please join me in congratulating all of our doctoral degree recipients. Dr. Bross will now present the candidates for the Master and Master of Science degrees.
Will the candidates for the Master and Master of Sciences degrees please rise? Mr. President, I have the honor of presenting to you for the Master and Master of Science degrees those candidates who have completed all requirements for these degrees.
Upon the recommendation of the faculty of the Georgia Institute of Technology and by the authority of the Board of Regents of the University System of Georgia, I confer upon each of you the master's degrees with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities thereunto appertaining. Congratulations.
Master of Science, Sandeep Ahuja. Patrick Mark Chopson. Valentin Chijiok Deke Jr. Meiwa Wong. Kia Mostan. Ari Caesar. Master of Science in Computational Science and Engineering, Wenji Bao. Zhen Gua. Zi Jian, also receiving Master of Science in Environmental Engineering. Wen Ying Hu. Amrita Gupta. Chandra Khatri. Juhun Yi Hu. Vic Kumar. Chinbin Lee. Shankar Vishwanath. Master of Science in Qualitative and Computational Finance, Yunxi Liu. Yifan Xu. Sean Zhai. Deep Mehta. Jiashi Long. Nikhil Paradakar. Sarah Elizabeth Scruggs. Master of Science in Human-Computer Interaction, Renee Michelle Blair. Kira Ann Byrne. John Dylan Eversman IV. Jessica Lee Fuston. Florian Forster. Ashley Gale Henry. Brighton Vinod Jagarajan. Patricia Joe. Harshath J.R. Bapu, Yoon Ki Kim, Paul Osinachi Lazarus, Michael Shai Lefko, Muzi Lee, Shan Lee, Daniel Jonathan Muchado, Yuan Lin, Timothy Joseph Major, Celeste Christine Mason, Sean W. Mosley, Rose May Ping, Christopher McGregor Reinert, Tulika Saraf, Lauren Marie Schaefer, Jin-Young Shen, Wesley Robert Smith, Stephen Louis Struble, Nikhil Siva Subhash, Matita Vikas Tople, Tony Aline Ake, Ian Thomas Wilson, Dong Liu Wu, Chen Zi, Master of Science in Statistics, Chao Yi Wu, Master of Science in Information Security, Benedict Dingming Chen, Munish Chowdhury, Girish Doble, Nikita Gupta, Joshua Reuben Roys, Rituraj Satpute, Lei Shao, Master of Science in Computer Science, Patrick Jurgen Alt, Arthur William Badoin, Arpita Bhattacharya, Joita Bhattacharya, Guillaume Boucher, Richard Emery Brooks, Shweta Mathangi Chandra Chudamuni, David George Emmel II, Curtis Anthony Free, Akash Gayangil, Umesh Goyal, Sathinarayan Sunakikaran, Donovan Tyson Hatch, Joseph Lloyd Hubbard, Netra Kinkare, Lucas Kennedy, Andrew Kim, Hannah Kim, Shwetank Kumar, Michael Thomas Landis, Yannick Liu Kashu, Rochelle Liala Loban, Mayog Na, Sebastian Monroy, Fabian Johannes Christian Mueller, Vivek Nambi, Sunjay Obla, Guillaume Orvain, Sriram Pudman Osban, Misun Park, Upurva Prabhu Werlaya, Ratika Rao, Louis Reynaud, Anand Sainath, Swetha Sivakumar, Sravan Taluri, Jansu Tedik, Josh Weinlass. Moritz Weifer. Dingqian Zhang. Yuban Zhao. Master of Science in International Affairs, Christopher Peter Bonajon. Janelle Castro. Margaret Patricia DeGrasse. Timothy James Edenfield. Catherine Knowles Flynn. Khaled Ziad Hamadeh. Wesley Daniel Meredith. Christopher Evan Sams. Joseph Sullivan Civic. Jamie Lynn Smelly. Nancy Lee Stewart. Thomas Kendrick Strott. Master of Science in Digital Media, Elizabeth Terry Ann Godfrey. Christian Kems. Anthony Baron Kolink Jr. Michael Adam Matalo. Jesse Bernard Shedd. William Gregory Chickerdonis. Master of Science in History and Sociology of Technology and Science, Christian Alexander Pierce. Master of Science in Public Policy, Yasmin L. Garibay. Catherine Jane Klein. Joshua Allen Lord. Alejandra Luz Parao Cartagena. Hira Batul Rizvi. Shu Yuan. Master of Science in Geographic Information, Science and Technology, Arindam Majumdar. Master of Science in Urban Design, Zhongming Xu. Tien Ren Yang. Master of Science in Music Technology, Robert Marius Basilio. Elizabeth Dorothea Deeb. Deepak Gopinath. Christopher David Howe. Aditya Sunil Joglakar. Ying Shu Kuo. Anand Mahadevan. Kian Jin O'Brien. Raja Raman. Shin Chun Zhou. Master of Industrial Design, Philip Cheng. John Christopher Davis. Sarah Jane Ehring. Mark Richard Husak. Luke Lamar Jordan. Jonathan David Kaplan. Hondo Zhou. Master of Science in Building Construction and Facility Management, Michael Kemp Anthony. Tolup Babatuno Ismail. Matthew Jeffrey Bearden. Yang Cao. Eliza Shun-A Fu. Peter D. Luxemburger. Jace Curtis Martin Oliver. Robert Edward Rojas. Alonzo Patrick Self. Rachel Bernadette Wilson. Shi Yuan Yen. Master of Architecture, Ashlyn Marie Bauer. Lindsay Monica Brown. Sarah Elizabeth Carroll, Jihoon Jo, William Gaetano Chaufrey, Sarthik Yogesh Dikun, Rebecca Lynn Duncan, Jessica Hillary Greenstein, Elisa Gail Hutchinson, also receiving Master of City and Regional Planning, Peter Alden Jamieson, Desmond LaRon Johnson, Fasil Mokura Kasu, Amari Judith Kelly, Carolyn Elizabeth Lang, Colin Thomas Leinhard, Andrew William Llewellyn, Sierra Jerry McLaren, Ainsley Marie McMaster, Robert Avery Nuttall, Quentin Pegram, Alpida Peponi, Stefan St. Plishka, Matthew Ryan Riggs, Joanna Katarzna Robinson, Mario Rene Rodas, Samuel Lee Shams, Lauren Elise Sherman, Christina Nicole Shivers, Phoebe Hoyen Tam, Kara Elizabeth Thomas, Eileen Dang Vuong, also receiving Master of City and Regional Planning, Clara Elizabeth Winston, Darren Yilmaz, Master of City and Regional Planning, Lindsay Ray Anderson, Marcus Hazen Ashdown, Corentin Tristan Ogan, Ryan Andrew Bowman, Allison Rebecca Buston, Kirsten Beth Cook, Khalif Muhammad Davis, Nathan Galantine, Gregory M. Jafrida, Robert Jacob Guthart, Bakari Jonkel Height, Stephen Andrew Monia, Laura Catherine O'Connell, Catherine Scott Perumble, Jessica Ann Plant, Brianna Taylor Ringe, Madeline Gale Shields, Jeffrey Dirda Ulti, also receiving Master of Science in Civil Engineering, Elizabeth Ann Vason, Master of Business Administration, Rachel Annette Black Babcock, James Joseph Bly, Desmond D. Dickerson, Raman Imam Moje, Paul Wesley Evans, Justin Henry Quinton Fink, Julie Caitlin Fry, Jennifer Howard, Danza Wayne Huey, Matthew Kenneth Croge, Matthew David Madden, Rakana Anil Modi, Rory Stephen O'Day, Sangam Paramhans Salamath, Yuya Tanaka, Jacob Scott Terry, Christopher R. Treadwell, Master of Science in Prosthetics and Orthotics, Stephen Thomas Ankers, Matthew Thomas Beal, Brandon James Christensen, Allison Marie Cloutier, Joshua Daniel Deems, Alexandra Patricia Frost, Laura Christine Huey, Catherine Ann King, William Christopher Mays, Ian Robert McIntyre, Samantha Marie Wadge, Laura Colleen Williams, Master of Science in Earth and Atmospheric Sciences, April Lauren Hannaclau, Jacqueline Grace Vallette, Melissa Jan Warren, Master of Science in Psychology, Catherine Dalrymple, Sarah Elizabeth Gregg, Kelsey Lanier Merlot, Master of Science in Bioinformatics, Devin James Klein, Gayatri Kurup, Adrian Lawson, Emily Taylor Norris, Isha Vijayaprakash, Master of Science in Mathematics, Tarika Chevron Harris, Master of Science in Chemistry, Haley L. Hancock, Raven Mariah Harvey, Chelsea A. Walker, Master of Science in Supply Chain Engineering, and Mara Imtiaz Ahmad, James Whitlock Banner, Arturo Alejandro Castillo Perez, Korea Patricia Diaz Williams, Christian Railman, Kimberly Ann Rich, Juan Pablo Villalvo Chavez, Master of Science in Health Systems, Ming Young Jo, Master of Science in Nuclear Engineering, Nicholas Paul Hobbs, Matthew Emil Lynch, Aaron Matthew Miller, William David Murray, Margaret Kellett Sedurth, Master of Science in Operations Research, Jane Marie Bloor, Jingjing Ni, Juni Alexi Pepapon, Melissa Ann Stafford, Master of Science in Industrial Engineering, Pei Gao, Pacharu Kitajucharan, Fanjian Meng, Christina Anna Weiler, Master of Science in Aerospace Engineering, Hisham Kamaladin Ali, Muhammad Ali, Sui Ong, Michael James Anderson, Robert Henry Arrowwood III, Scott Wayne Ashcraft, Rajiv Atluri, Rosamond Osei Justine Assel, Francois Bolduc Teasdale, Julianne Marie Braden, Andrew Ian Burrell, Jan Charant, Michael Cormier, Christian M. Cruzen, Kevin James DeBruin, Thomas Charles Deniger, Matilda Natalie DeVero, Eric M. First, Shiming Gao, Jonathan M. Goodman, Catherine Marie Handshow, Kenneth Arthur Hart, Jr., Casey Ryan Heydrich, Christopher Jean Janista, Tejas Prakash Kulakarni, Sean Richard Lawler, Claudel Lassard Therrien, Zihang Liu, Max Seamus Lucas, Julia Shea Lundgren, Peter Marshall Mangum Jr., Siti Nur Akida Muhammad Azmi, Andrew Scott Miller, Robert James Moss, Adam Perry Nellison, Tom Mark Newman, Sinead Claire O'Sullivan, Jong Wook Park, Notal Alexander Michael Partansky, Nishant Prasad, Nivedita Ravi, Marius Elvind Groth, Paul Robert Schleiss, Parth Shaw, Stephen Abram Slater, Leslie Ann Solman, William Grant Stein II, Ryan Thomas Trubig, Max Cullen Van Bentham, Adipat Waraun Chaichi, Mark Christopher Welsh, Master of Science in Materials Science and Engineering, Alex Winfield Bryant. Janine Evelyn Ferrer. Stephanie Yvette Holgen. David Henry Welsham. Paul David Zakowski. Master of Science in Environmental Engineering, Yashika Agarwala. Sarasija Sharuvu. Malin Savannah Dartnell. Andrew Harris Liu. Lily Mood. Jie Pan. Suganya Pandlan. Chang J. Bio. Felipe Santana Diaz. David Vargas. Katie Charlotte Wingrove. Master of Science in Civil Engineering, Arif Alama. James Miller Anderson IV. Andrew Scott Babb. Manotapa Bamik. Jorge Luis Castillo. Giovanni Andres Castillo Mazariegos. Naoma K. Cole. John Francis Daly III. Lauren Burke Dermody. Elias Intebi. Jaime Gittelman. Swarnava Ghosh. Chen Yu Xie. Michael Joseph Kwek. Brian Hyunji Lee. Mariano Morales. Tehasvi Risheshwar Prasad. John Crawford Scobie. Wenbo Sun. Mary Kathleen Shinners. Mary Divyajoti Thumadi. Hoki Se. LaSasha Walker. Jonathan J. Yip. Master of Science in Electrical and Computer Engineering, Reza Abaspor. Akusika Dejum Vanessa Adjoin. Hamza Arachau. Irving Said Anaya. Mikhail Bryce Argadas. Juan Asalo. Philip McIntosh Bassett. Amadeo Bellotti. Jeffrey Robert Bertel. Luis Joseph Bono. Victoria Grace Bornak. Hamza Shakir. Sajith Mohan Chakadath. Krunal Ketan Shande. Antoine Chasing. Dongsu Chow. Stefan Kalat. Naisa Conde. Jimmy De Silva. Umang Devra. Parth Ravindra Desai. Soham Jayesh Desai. Sundar Javakumar Dev. Amrutha Dankumar, Aditi Arvind Duri, Mahmood Akache Damasi, Isabel Doan, Chen Ming Du, Ryuk Du Mangaur, Hugo Duthel, William Henry Flanders III, Antoine Charles Fremont, Alexandra Gauthier, Atmain Gesazi, Nikita Govind, Nicholas Julian Gaudier, Naveed Hassan, Charles Ethan Hayes, Eric Robert Hine, Stuart Franklin Hughes, Pushpa Ramachandran Iyer, Abhishek Jain, Anne-Marie Louise Janet, Rohit Atul Jinsiwale, Rohit N. Joshi, Atul Srivatsan Kilapando Rangathan, Shantanu Katkar, Pierre Lallemande Kirsch, Zhe Cheng Li, Frederick Lepaut, Shuqing Liu, Thomas Jean-Luc, Heisheng Ma, Jeffrey McGee, Amelia Aud Martinez, Derek Flynn Money, Troy Anthony Messina, Adil Kamal Mir, Baran Ahmed Mudassar, Srinath Murali, Abhishek Vinayak Naik, Aishwarya Sukumaran Nair, Ajit Krishna Najai Lakshman, Aurore Nugang, Chloe Anna Osina, Rushit Kamal Parikh, Sri Harsha Podukchich, Rahul Rajan, Muhammad Asif Rana, Mayor Rao, Ji-Cheng Ren, Chloe Ricus, Christopher Brandon Rossi, Arnaud Frank Schmidt, Matthew Schmidt, Aishani Amit Shah, Akar Jatin Shah, Akshay Atul Shah, Amish Manish Shah, Karthik Shankar, Avanish Karunakara Shetty, Rajath P. Shetty, Vaibhav Pratap Shinde, Rahul Sridhar, Talai Hassan Siddique, Fiona Marine Sudin, Ryan Frank Stumval, Wenjing Su, Charles Austin Sutcliffe Jr., Peter Duncan Swanson, Bijan Knight Tarani, Antoine Tortosa, Srinath Tupil Muraldaran, Aditya Upreti, Abhinaya Venkatesan, Apurv Vivek, Brian Robert Weir, Brian McKendry Wofford, Alexandre Yahi, Jianchen Yang, Yiyu Zhang, Anik Zia, Master of Science in Mechanical Engineering, Kaushap Allur, Thomas David Beals, Joel David Bloomer, Antoine Bollet, Harrison Adams Bradley, Alexander Wells Brady, Zachary Stephen Brooks, Andrew Alexander Carlisle, Patrick Ping Kai Chen, William Ping Shu Chen, Kevin Lee Chow, Noah Ethan Dennis, Fabian Durand, Matthew Ryan Edwards, Maurice Lorenz Golke, Paul Edward Horace, Xiongjian Wang, Stephen Alexander Jenkins, Jin Woo Kim, Samputha Komandaur, Akanksha Krishnakumar Menon, Elizabeth Merrill Lambert, Nicholas Philip Lavallere, Wei Ting Leung, Vadim Linovich, Michael Carson Lockard, Robert Thomas Marr, Matthew Allen Markham, Louis Munier, Tyler Scott Nelson, Jeffrey Auget, Vanessa Ann Pogue, Fuad Salim, Elise Sebald, Thomas H. Scherer II, Wayne Justin Smith, Jr., Vasav Gopal Swaminathan, Dustin Mark Troggett, Michael Jared Yanufsky, Hussein Zahir, Lauren Taylor Zolendek,
Will all of the graduates please rise? You are all to be commended. You have earned a degree from one of the most prestigious institutions in the world. Master's graduates, you can now commemorate your achievements by moving your tassel from the right to the left. Congratulations. Please be seated. Almost there. Georgia Tech alumni are an extraordinary group of high achievers. To welcome the members of this year's graduating class into the Fellowship of Tech, I'm pleased to introduce Mr. Bob Stargell, class of 1983 and this year's chairman of the Georgia Tech Alumni Association.
Good evening. It is an honor and a privilege to congratulate this evening's degree recipients and welcome you into a very select group of people, that being the Georgia Tech Alumni Association. Today's alumni stand at over 143,000 people, each of which who came here to complete a journey of learning, exploring, growing, having fun, albeit that may be a relative term here, and obtaining the critical skills that are necessary to solve the complex problems of the world. We have in the past, and we will in the future. Our journey of attaining a degree from Georgia Tech is a common bond we all share, regardless of how we arrived. It is one that has provided challenges, instilled discipline, created values, and afforded learning experience as we all sought to get out of this great institution. I arrived on Tech's campus with the same hopeful anticipation and excitement that many of you did when you arrived and you do today. I was intellectually thirsty, eager to meet new people, solve problems, and enjoy the college life that would shape who I was and what I would do. Believe it or not, I turned down a full ride to an Ivy League school because an alumnus from my hometown of Cincinnati, Ohio, called me and said, would you come to this institution that he was so proud of? I knew of the reputation of Georgia Tech as a top-tier university, and it was a lot warmer in the South, so I came south. The impact of that alumnus was lost at me at the time, but I've grown to understand and recognize it as the first connection to the great Georgia Tech Alumni Association. This alumnus directed me to financial aid, co-ops jobs, allowing me to complete my degree at Georgia Tech at this North Avenue trade school. You see, I was intellectually thirsty and proud to be coming to this university, a top-tier university, the same feeling that many of you have today. Look to your left and look to your right. One of you will not be here your sophomore year. Now, these were words that were uttered during my tenure. I'm glad to say we don't do that anymore. And I kind of felt sorry for one of those guys. I got this, I thought. But I did survive my freshman year, becoming even thirstier and prouder to be at this top-tier university. My sophomore year turned into a nightmare due to poor study habits and bad studying. I learned that I was not naturally brilliant, that I needed to go to class, and that I needed to form study groups to get out of this great institution. So I put in the work, just like you all did, and I got out of the institution. I earned my degree in electrical engineering, and those nightmares were replaced with the hopeful excitement and anticipation that I had upon entering the school 5 years earlier. Now remember, I was a co-op, so take that into account. The same feeling that we have today, but please be advised that it will take each of you 5 to 10 years to get over that nightmare of waking up for a final or dissertation, having either not gone to class or overslept. It just is going to happen. Your class is better prepared, more diverse, and has greater potential than those that came before you. You each have completed your own journey that has resulted in earning your degree from a top-tier university and the smartest public university in America, according to Business Insider. I ask you to keep it that way by continuing to stay connected to Tech. Get involved in a local affinity group. Recruit for your company. Come back and be a guest lecturer, and contribute to roll call. To help you get started, an anonymous alumni has actually contributed $25 in your name. Please keep these donations going forward in the future to help ensure your school will be even better tomorrow than it is this day of your graduation. Stay thirsty, my friends. Continue to grow. Seek new challenges. Think critically and ask tough questions. You are now a member of the Georgia Tech Alumni Network, and your achievements help this institution secure bright and diverse students, faculty, and administration, and global recognition as one of the best universities to attend. And be proud that you are a part of that. Congratulations once again to this year's graduating class. May that hopeful excitement and anticipation that you feel now remain with you throughout your journey. Go Jackets!
And just to clarify that, stay thirsty for knowledge. Thank you, Bob. We appreciate your comments. In closing, I'd like to express my appreciation to Joe Hughes and to Harry Sharp for announcing the graduates' names, and to all of my associates for help making this event possible. At this time, members of Nothing But Treble will lead us in the alma mater, followed immediately by the faculty recessional. The graduates in the audience are requested to remain standing as the platform party recesses. Then I invite all of you to join in the singing of the country's best-known fight song, The Rambling Wreck. Thank you, have a wonderful evening, and congratulations.
Oh, sons of